Today we're working on a Duplo DC-646 slitter cutter creaser, and this has a little problem with some occasional J5 exit tray errors, and we're going to see if we can solve those today. So we're going to take off the front and rear covers. There's 3 screws on each, and then we'll be taking the back panel off to replace the sensors. So the error message that would appear is J5 exit tray. And it was rather intermittent for a while, and I was in maybe a couple of times cleaning the sensors, but it just kept getting worse and more common more often, so I figured it's best just to replace the sensors. So we're going to swing this thing out from the wall. We're going to take off the back cover here, take off the front cover, and there's a 350 booklet magnet. We're going to take the tray down on the back, and then we're going to release this back panel that's held on with 4 screws. There's 3 sets of sensors. There's 3 pairs of sensors back here on the exit tray that detect paper as it comes out of the machine and onto the tray. And so these were falsing every once in a while, thinking they were seeing paper when there was actually none there. Cleaning didn't seem to help, so we're just going to replace the sensors, and here's the new ones right here. They come as a pair, so we're going to replace all 3 pair. To get that back panel out, you have to release a couple of screws that release the waste chute. And you don't have to take the screws all the way out, but just loosen them, and then that chute will come up loose. And here it comes out of the back, along with the 3 receivers. And now we're going to take the 3 transmitters out. The transmitters are on what I'll call a bar that are held on with 2 screws here. And both the receiver panel and the transmitter panel unplug from the wire harness. You'll see those cables here on the non-operator side. And with those unplugged, now we can get the transmitter bar out. Through the magic of video, we are condensing probably a 45-minute job down to about 10 minutes. So each one of the transmitters comes loose here and just unplugged from the cable. On the operator side, that is known as SN060, 061, and the one on the non-operator side is 062. So here go our new transmitters, 060, 061, and 062. If you're playing along at home with the service manual. And then we're going to screw those back down to the frame. Now the service manual describes bushings between the sensor and the frame, but I didn't see any of those on this model. Now with all 3 transmitters done, we can work on the receiver end of things. So here's the operator side. This is SN063, SN064, and SN065. Again, those just unplug from the frame, or from the wiring harness rather, and the new ones just plug right in. Again, I didn't see any bushings on my model, but your model may have some. Alright, we're going to attach the receivers down now. Each one of these pairs makes up a sensor that's known to the machine as PPS7. There's a PPS7-1, -2, and -3. So that's what these pairs of sensors are. And when you go into help mode, you'll see PPS7. -1, -2, or -3. Alright, so we got all three of our receivers in place. Let's put the transmitter bar back in. Guide the wire through the hole in the frame. Attach the two screws. And plug in the cable harness. And we don't have to secure those wires up completely yet because the receiver needs to plug in as well. Alright, so we're going to guide the receiver, all the receivers and the waste chute back in. And we're going to make sure that that waste chute is back behind the screws, and then we're going to tighten the screws back down. And then we're going to put the 4 screws back into the rear panel. Alright, let's see how well we did. Let's power it up in help mode. Hold down the 2 jog buttons while we turn the power on. And then we're going to go to H11, or help mode 11. And that's our paper position sensor screen. That'll tell us how our PPS7s are reacting. We're going to scroll down to PPS7, and we're going to be looking at PPS7-1, -2, and -3. And I'm putting my finger over the sensors. I'm changing the screen with my right hand, and you can't see the one with the camera. Isn't that great? But all 3 sensors seem to be reacting properly. So I think we can shut the power off here and have an operator come over and test this thing.
Yeah, we were just having problems with this. Once in a while, it starts doing it. You gotta shut it off for a while, and you can turn on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, seems to be working good.
Is that when it would error out like that?
Yeah, when we were storing. I'm going to run some business cards now.
Okay.
I think it's going to work okay. I haven't done anything wrong. So. Well, it looks like it's good.
Good. We'll call that a wrap then.
Wrap it up. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Thanks. All right, looks like it's working okay, so let's put it back together. I did this repair in August of 2022, and it's now December, so I'd call 4 months a fix. We're all done. Be sure and like this video, and I'll try to make more. And we'll see you on the next one.